Many Filipinos once dreamed of leaving their homeland, packing their bags with hopes of finding a better life abroad. But what if, right here in the Philippines, there are cities that are cleaner, safer, and warmer than anywhere you've ever been? According to recent surveys, with just 25,000 peso a month, you can live comfortably in several Philippine cities, places where people still greet each other with a smile. And peace of mind isn't a luxury. You can enjoy your morning coffee under the sun and take a relaxing evening walk without worry. In this video, we'll explore the 10 most livable cities in 2025, and the city at the top might just convince you that happiness doesn't have to be found far away. If you've ever dreamed of leaving, this video might make you think twice. At the end, tell me, which place would you choose to call home? Number 10, BACOLOD City. A small city that teaches people how to smile through life's pressures. That's BACOLOD. If you've ever visited during the Mascara Festival, you'll understand why it's called the City of Smiles. It's not just about the colorful masks or lively music, but about the genuine warmth in people's smiles. Smiles that come from peace within, not from wealth. On a quiet street near Lacson Road, Mateo, 34 years old, opened a small cafe leaving Manila. He once worked in the BPO industry, steady income, but endless stress. Deadlines, traffic jams, and long hours in front of a computer screen. One day, he realized that having money without time to live wasn't living at all. So he returned to his hometown, BACOLOD. Now, each morning, Mateo wakes up early to roast coffee beans and personally brew cups for his regulars. His shop rent costs only around 10,000 peso, and with a steady income from the cafe, he lives comfortably, spending about 22 to 25,000 peso every month. BACOLOD ranks among the most affordable cities in the Visayas region, with calm traffic, friendly people, and a community always ready to help. As night falls, Mateo sits outside his cafe, watching people stroll by, listening to children's laughter echo through the streets. He says, "In Manila, I had money. In BACOLOD, I have peace." In the distance, the warm glow of streetlights reflects on smiling faces, real smiles, not the kind hidden behind a mascara mask. BACOLOD doesn't promise luxury, but it offers something more valuable: a slower, fuller, and more meaningful life. And if you're looking for a city that blends modern living with a calm pace, let's move on to Santa Rosa, Laguna. Number 9, Santa Rosa, Laguna. Who says you can only live well in Manila? Just over an hour's drive from the capital, Santa Rosa in Laguna proves otherwise. Once a quiet suburb, it has become a modern industrial hub while keeping its clean air, green lakes, and tidy, tree-lined neighborhoods. Among those who've moved here is a young family from Makati. Both parents worked in offices with stable incomes, but city life grew increasingly suffocating. Endless traffic, long hours, and barely any time left for family dinners. When their son started school, they decided to move to Santa Rosa, choosing a slower pace of life while staying close enough to Manila for work. Today, the mother works at the Technopark industrial area, earning around 30,000 peso a month, enough to rent a one-bedroom apartment for 12 to 15,000 peso, and cover living expenses of about 30,000 peso. Santa Rosa enjoys light traffic, low crime rates, and is one of the safest cities in the Calabarzon region. With green urban planning and growing job opportunities, it has become a perfect balance for many young Filipinos. As the sun sets, its golden light shimmers across Nuvali Lake, and the sound of children laughing fills the air. She smiles and says, "I used to think success was owning more things. Now success is coming home early and having dinner with my son." Santa Rosa isn't loud or flashy. It's where many families rediscover what truly matters: time together. Number 8, Tagaytay City. Not everyone comes to Tagaytay for a vacation. Some come here to start over. There are places that leave a lasting mark on your heart after just one visit. Not because they're luxurious or modern, but because they make you feel at peace. Tagaytay is one of those places, a mountain city in Cavite, just about an hour and a half from Manila, yet it feels like stepping into a different world. In the early morning, mist blankets the rolling hills, the cool wind brushes your face, and the aroma of coffee drifts gently through the air. Below, Taal Lake lies still like a mirror reflecting the sky. Many people come here for a weekend escape, but for one retired elementary school teacher, this place became the beginning of a new life. She had taught for over 30 years in Cavite. When she retired, she chose not to stay in the city, but returned to the highlands, a place filled with memories from a school field trip long ago. Now she lives in a small hillside home with a wooden porch facing the mountains. Each morning, she brews her coffee, opens the window to the breeze, and listens to church bells ringing from afar. Her simple life costs about 25,000 peso a month, enough for essentials and sometimes a fresh bouquet on the table. Tagaytay has kept its charming simplicity. Cafes on sloping streets, steaming bowls of bulalo on misty afternoons, and the soft laughter of visitors blending with the wind. She sits quietly, watching the fog drift through the pine trees, realizing that happiness is sometimes just being able to breathe slowly. As the sun sinks behind the mountains, the fog rolls back in, making you feel small beneath the vast sky. Perhaps that's why people come to Tagaytay, not to escape, but to listen to themselves again. And if you wish to experience a city where art and people become one, come with me to Baguio City, the heart of the highland culture. Number 7. Baguio City. As the road begins to twist and climb, the air turns cooler. Mist settles over pine-covered hills, and the scent of damp wood seeps through the car windows. That's when you know you've reached Baguio, a city where art and nature exist in harmony. Sitting more than 1,500 meters above sea level, Baguio is known as the summer capital of the Philippines. But for many, it's more than just an escape from the heat. It's a place to find yourself again. Here, small cafes display local paintings, walls bloom with colorful graffiti, and music drifts through the fog, creating a rhythm that's slow, soulful, and deeply creative. A young artist who once studied in Manila decided to return to Baguio after years away. He said that here, there's no noise of the big city, only mist and sky, enough to feed his inspiration. During the day, he paints in his little studio overlooking the pine forest. At night, he and his friends exhibit their art along Session Road. Here, he says, people don't rush to judge, they simply look and feel. The cost of living in Baguio is about 35% lower than in Manila. A one-bedroom apartment rents for around 10 to 12,000 peso, and a warm meal in the cool weather costs about 120 peso. But what keeps people here isn't affordability. It's the feeling of living truthfully, just as you are. As night falls, the city glows in soft golden light. Through the mist, the sound of a guitar drifts, gentle as a memory, warm as an old friend's hand. Baguio doesn't call attention to itself, but everyone who visits remembers it forever. Number 6. Dumaguete City. In a fast-moving world, there remains a place that makes people slow down and smile. They call Dumaguete the city of gentle people. Not because everyone smiles all the time, but because of how they live, slowly, kindly, and with respect for strangers. When you arrive here, everything feels simple, calm, and beautifully unhurried. A foreign man once came to Dumaguete for a 2-week vacation. He worked in technology and had lived for years in Japan and Singapore, places known for precision, speed, and constant motion. But among the small streets of Dumaguete, he found something different. Vendors called him by name, neighbors greeted him every morning, and no one seemed in a rush. That 2-week holiday turned into 10 years, and Dumaguete became the place he called home. Located in Negros Oriental, the city is well known for its universities, especially Silliman, the first American-founded university in Asia. Because of that, Dumaguete carries both an intellectual and international atmosphere while keeping its small-town warmth. The cost of living here ranges from about 25 to 30,000 peso a month for one person, much lower than in most coastal cities. In the late afternoon, you can stroll along the boulevard, a seaside walkway lined with coconut trees where locals and travelers gather to watch the sunset. Between the sound of the waves and the golden glow of the lamps, someone hums an old tune, soft as the wind, and that is Dumaguete. A city that doesn't need noise to shine, only enough gentleness to make you want to return. Number 5. Cagayan de Oro City. In northern Mindanao, there's a city filled with sunlight and opportunity. A place where work doesn't drain your energy, and time isn't lost in traffic jams. People call it the City of Golden Friendship, not just because of its friendly locals, but because anyone who comes here can start again, no matter where they're from. A logistics engineer who once worked in Manila shared that he never thought he would leave the capital. But after years of battling traffic, endless deadlines, and high living costs, he began to crave a place where he could breathe more easily. When his company opened a branch in Cagayan de Oro, he asked to transfer, and that decision changed his life. "Here," he said, "I'm still doing the work I love. My salary is enough to support my family, but what I value most is not spending 2 hours every day stuck in traffic like before." Cagayan de Oro is rapidly growing, becoming the economic hub of northern Mindanao. The city has major ports and an airport, serving as a gateway for trade between the Visayas and Mindanao regions. The average cost of living for a small family is about 28 to 35,000 peso per month, enough for a comfortable home near the city center and peaceful afternoons by the river. When the sun sets, the Cagayan River glows with golden light. He stands there watching the water flow, where both the sun and the people shine in their own way. In Cagayan de Oro, work and life finally find their balance. And if you want to feel the rhythm of the sea blending with the pulse of a modern city, come with me to Cebu City, the vibrant jewel of central Philippines. Number 4. Cebu City. In the heart of the country lies a city big enough to overflow with opportunity, yet close enough to make you feel at home. That's Cebu, the commercial, cultural, and technological center of the central Philippines, where city life meets the ocean breeze. In the morning, glass towers reflect the rising sun, while below, young professionals hurry to their offices in the IT park. Among them is a young man who left his hometown in Negros to seek new opportunities. He now works for an international startup company, earning about 40,000 peso per month, enough to rent a small apartment near the city center and still save for weekend getaways to Mactan's beaches. "What I love about Cebu," he said, "is that even when work gets busy, 10 minutes later, you can already be standing by the sea." Cebu is one of those rare places where work, leisure, and culture coexist in perfect balance. The city is growing rapidly, attracting tech companies, BPO firms, and foreign investors. Yet traditional markets, the colorful Sinulog Festival, and the genuine smiles of its people keep its soul alive. The average cost of living here ranges from 35 to 40,000 peso per month, slightly higher, but worth it for the career opportunities and quality of life. As night falls, lights from the Mandao Bridge shimmer across the water. Groups of young people gather in roadside cafes, sharing stories and dreams. Between the city lights and the sound of the waves, someone still believes the most beautiful kind of success is finding peace in the middle of a busy life. Number 3. Davao City. While many cities struggle with noise and chaos, Davao chooses a different way, calm and disciplined. There are places that make you feel safe the moment you arrive, not because of luxury, but because everything moves in quiet order. Davao is one of those places. The largest city in Mindanao has long been known as one of the safest, cleanest, and most livable cities in the Philippines. Streets are tidy, trash is rarely seen, and people follow rules as part of daily life. But Davao's calm isn't cold. It's the kind that makes you feel secure. A middle-aged woman who runs a small shop near ROSA's night market has lived in Davao for over 20 years. She once worked in Manila, then moved here to raise her child. In Davao, she said, "I don't worry when my child walks to school alone." This city feels like a strict father, firm, but always protective. The average cost of living in Davao is about 30 to 35,000 peso a month, enough for a small family to live comfortably. The city is well planned, full of green spaces, and has strong healthcare and education systems. It serves as the economic center of the South. But what truly makes Davao special is its people, disciplined, respectful, and deeply proud of their city, treating it like a shared home to be cared for. In the late afternoon, golden sunlight touches the distant Mt. Apo. Rows of trees line the avenues, car horns sound softly, and vendors greet you with a familiar smile. Because in Davao, peace isn't a promise, it's a way of life. Number 2. Makati, Taguig, BGC. Morning in Makati begins with sunlight reflecting off glass towers, while across the river, Taguig slowly wakes to the rhythm of young professionals walking along Bonifacio High Street, where energy, ambition, and technology all move in harmony. Among the crowd, a freelancer orders her coffee before starting a virtual meeting with a European client. She works for an international tech company, earning around 60,000 peso a month, enough to live comfortably in a small BGC apartment and treat herself to a few nights of live music and poblation. "I love the pace here," she says. "Everything is constantly moving, yet no one forgets to enjoy it." Makati and Taguig aren't just financial centers. They're the modern faces of the Philippines, vibrant, diverse, and globally connected. Between skyscrapers lie green parks, 24-hour cafes, and cultural events that make these two cities dream destinations for the new generation. Living costs here are higher than in most other cities, averaging between 50,000 and 70,000 peso per month for one person. But in exchange, you get to work in a global environment, meet creative minds, and live in a space where every corner tells a story of the modern age. When night falls, the buildings of BGC light up like stars. A security guard greets guests with a smile. A mother finishing her shift walks her child across the street. Small moments that remind you Makati and Taguig, though world-class, are still deeply Filipino at heart. And now, let's travel to the number 1 city, a place where peace is not just a promise, but a way of life, Iloilo City. Number 1. Iloilo City. If there's one place that makes Filipinos from around the world want to come home, it's Iloilo, where peace isn't just a word, but something people live every day. Nestled along the coast of Pinoy, Iloilo is a graceful blend of past and present. Along the esplanade, Spanish-era houses stand beside cozy cafes where locals cycle leisurely and greet each other with warm smiles. This city rarely rushes. It moves at the rhythm of the heart, slow and kind. According to surveys by the Asian Development Bank and local publications, Iloilo consistently ranks among the cleanest, safest, and most livable cities in the Philippines, thanks to smart urban planning, efficient traffic systems, and a genuinely friendly community. Here, neighbors know each other by name, help fix each other's roofs, and let children play outside freely without fear. 3 years ago, a man working abroad decided to return home after nearly a decade overseas. He used his savings to open a small eatery by the Iloilo River. "I used to think happiness was somewhere far away, where there's more money and more opportunity," he said. "But I learned that true peace is living close to family and knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be." The cost of living in Iloilo is much lower than in major cities, only around 25 to 30,000 peso a month. The city's infrastructure is modern, the air is fresh, and the people are so kind that anyone arriving here feels instantly at home. As sunset paints the esplanade in gold, small boats drift quietly on the river, music floats from a cafe, and it's easy to see why Iloilo is called the City of Love. It's not loud or flashy, just warm, heartfelt, and deeply human, making you want to stay a little longer. Iloilo may not be as busy as Manila or as lively as Cebu, yet everyone who visits somehow finds themselves wanting to return. And perhaps that is the true definition of the most livable city in the Philippines. 10 cities, 10 stories, each with its own rhythm, its own reason to fall in love. Together, they paint a vivid picture of the best that the Philippines has to offer. Each of us may choose a different place to call home, but what truly makes the Philippines the most livable is its people, their smiles, resilience, and open hearts. If you feel proud to be Filipino, or simply want to discover more about the beauty of this country, hit like, leave a comment about your favorite city, and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming stories about life and people in the Philippines. Because every video, every story here, is made to remind you of the pride, love, and peace that already exist in the place you call home.